Welcome to the Office Safety Training Course. In this course, you will learn about the hazards you may encounter in office areas, as well as things you can do to prevent accidents and hazards to yourself and others. Other topics covered include response to emergencies, general workplace safety, and how material is safely moved throughout the workplace. While office areas may appear to be safe, there could be conditions or situations that could be hazardous to you and others. One of the most common office safety-related hazards is a cluttered work area. An overaccumulation of boxes and other materials on the floor can cause trip hazards. Keep all walking surfaces clear of material and personal items. Filing cabinets can be hazardous if they are overloaded, top-heavy, or if drawers are left open. You can prevent file cabinets from tipping by having only one drawer pulled out at a time. Office machines are also a potential hazard if not used or maintained properly. Never attempt to adjust or repair any office equipment unless you are trained and authorized. Opening covers on office equipment can expose you to very hazardous electrical shocks. Sometimes there's a need to retrieve files or supplies from areas you cannot reach. Be sure to use step stools or step ladders to reach elevated items. They're designed for this purpose. Never stand on a chair, table, or box to reach for material. Use of portable personal heaters is restricted to the ceramic type. Glowing wire type heaters are prohibited since they can easily cause fires if placed too close to flammable material such as clothing, paper, or drapes. All personal fans must be in good repair and have wire grid guards that enclose the fan blade area on both front and back. Do not place fans on the floor as that creates a trip hazard. Another common trip hazard is electrical extension cords. Be sure they do not lie across walkways or under rugs. As a fire prevention measure, candles and other open flames are not permitted in office work areas. Storerooms are safe if material is placed properly. Flammable liquids are not permitted in storerooms unless they are in authorized flammable storage lockers. Heavy objects should be placed in the mid-shelf areas to prevent back injury when they need to be retrieved. Another storeroom hazard is uneven stacking of material or placing heavy objects on lightweight boxes. Either of these practices can cause material to slip and fall. While storerooms are designed for storage, electrical and utility rooms are not. All electrical and utility areas must remain free from chemicals, boxes, and flammable material. While the office workplace is generally a safe place, there are possibilities that due to accidents or personal medical situations, emergency medical care is needed. In the case of an emergency, first notify the supervisor, then call 911 if emergency medical services are required. If you are the person who calls 911, be sure to remain calm and provide the 911 operator the company name, location, and situation. Another action that needs to be taken if emergency medical assistance is called for is for someone to be assigned to direct the emergency team to the location of the ill or injured person. As a general rule, if you encounter a situation that requires more than simple first aid, you should call for assistance from your supervisor or EHS officer who will provide first responder assistance. Everyone has an important part in our fire prevention program. By preventing conditions that could lead to a fire, we can eliminate the chance of accidental fires. This effort by all employees includes not smoking in unauthorized areas, preventing buildup of flammable waste, and care in the storage and use of flammable chemicals. Throughout our facility, you will see portable fire extinguishers. These are placed at strategic locations for use by trained employees in the event of a small fire. They contain a very limited amount of extinguishing agent and are used on fires just as they start. If a fire is larger than a wastebasket, or there are large amounts of smoke or an alarm sounds, you should immediately evacuate by leaving the building through the nearest safe exit. After exiting the building, be sure to assemble in your designated area so that a head count can be taken. This is done to ensure that everyone has safely evacuated. Employees who are trained to use fire extinguishers use the PASS or PASS system for activating and using a fire extinguisher. Each letter of the PASS system stands for the sequential actions for proper extinguisher operation. P stands for pull the pin. This allows the activation lever to move, which opens the valve on the extinguisher, allowing the extinguishing agent to be dispensed. A stands for aim. The nozzle or horn of the extinguisher must be properly aimed for the extinguishing agent to work. The most effective place to aim is at the base of the fire where the fuel is concentrated. S stands for squeeze. Squeeze the activating lever to discharge the extinguishing agent from the extinguisher bottle at the base of the fire. The second S stands for sweep. A sweeping action of the extinguisher horn at the base of the fire ensures full coverage of the fire area. As we mentioned before, portable fire extinguishers contain very limited amounts of extinguishing agents. Most will not last for more than 15 to 30 seconds. One of the major causes of workplace back injury is improper lifting or moving of material. When lifting material, follow these precautions to prevent injury to your back. Check the weight of the object. If it is too heavy, you can either get assistance or, in the case of boxes that contain several objects, break down the load into several lighter sections. Never lift with your back. Let your legs do the lifting by getting a firm grip with the load close to your body, keeping your back straight, and then pushing upward with your legs. Keep your shoulders over your hips and never twist at the waist when lifting, placing, or carrying a load. Twisting at the waist creates large stresses on your lower back. Never carry a load such that it prevents you from seeing where you're going. Plan your path of travel so that you avoid all slip and trip hazards. A simple means of preventing back injury is to use mechanical equipment such as carts, hand trucks, and lifting equipment to move heavy material. Improper lifting is not the only activity that can cause stress injuries to your body. The study of proper body positioning and motion is called ergonomics. Through application of ergonomic principles, jobs, tools, and task motions are designed to minimize repetitive stress. Some of the most common ergonomic principles are keeping the hand and wrist in a neutral or handshake position. Bending the wrist weakens the grip, which causes more force to be applied to accomplish a task. Adjusting workstation seating and work tables to accommodate the differences in worker heights is another ergonomic principle. Breaking up highly repetitive tasks so that the same muscles are not used over and over in a short amount of time, which causes muscle fatigue, is a very important part of the ergonomic program. Another ergonomic principle is stretching periodically to relax muscle groups that become tense from constant use. Stretching and warm-up exercises also prepares the body for strenuous and repetitive activities. Safety awareness begins well before you get to your workstation. This includes using safe driving practices to and from work and in the parking lot. Be constantly on the lookout for people exiting vehicles and moving between parked cars. A safe speed in the parking lot is no more than 5 miles per hour. Once parked, be aware that walking conditions on pavement changes with the weather. Rain, ice, or snow can make a normally dry walking surface very hazardous, so be sure to wear appropriate shoes to prevent slips and falls. As you walk through the parking lot, watch for cars moving through the lot and look both ways before entering or crossing a traffic area. There may be occasions where you need to go through or to a production area. Be sure to stay in marked walkways and comply with all safety signs and any direction by production area supervisors. Do not touch equipment or material unless you are specifically trained and authorized to do so. All production areas have material being moved to support the production effort. Be aware that cranes, forklifts, and carts are traveling on walking surfaces and overhead. Always yield to and move away from equipment that is moving material through the work areas. Before entering areas posted as having eye or noise hazards, be sure you use the proper personal safety equipment such as safety glasses and hearing protection. Never linger around production areas or engage in unnecessary conversation with equipment operators. Distracting others from their work can create a serious safety hazard. Generally, office areas do not have many chemicals, but you need to be aware that any chemical can be hazardous if not stored or used correctly. If you have not been trained to use a specific chemical, do not use it. Never mix chemicals unless there's an approved written procedure. And before using any chemical, be sure to read the label and understand all hazards and precautions listed. For each chemical we have on site, there is a Material Safety Data Sheet, or MSDS. This data sheet provides in-depth information about the product. This includes hazards, safe use, required protective equipment, and emergency data. Office areas are designed to be very safe places. However, you must be aware that your actions and that of others can make it less safe. Be sure to communicate any safety questions or problems to your supervisor and do not do anything you are not trained to do. For us to keep a safe workplace, safety must be everybody's job. Be sure to report all injuries, accidents, and unsafe conditions to your supervisor immediately.